Hi everyone, let's talk about Sentient, and I'll just start by saying I think this is a brilliant game. I have really enjoyed this. The core gameplay of taking the cards to try and satisfy the requirements, but inevitably as you start to fill in the four spaces, the decisions you've made and the criteria that you need for certain dice, the cards you're taking will inevitably mess that up, and it's about trying to figure out, what is the best for me, when is it the best time to spend these assistants, because you always want to spend them at the top on the majority part rather than have to essentially waste them. Sometimes it's really useful and will get you a lot of points to not have to change the dice, but if you can help it, you really want to take the perfect cards. And the decision of, I really like the thing of you're going to go last next round, or you're going to go on top of the pile. So depending on when you do it, you're going to go later in the round, but you can get to wipe these cards, but then you don't get to choose one straight away. It's still got to go round, and it's just basically giving you a bit of breathing space. There's absolutely nothing that will work for me right now. Let it go around, and hopefully there will be something next time. But that's your only option to do that. And I imagine there will always be some kind of luck of the draw in this, even though a lot of it is down to your decisions and, how do I manipulate these things? Where do I start on the board? As I was saying in the playthrough, if you put a card in space 1 and 3 and leave those gaps, the one you put in 2 is probably going to mess one of those up. If you can work kind of from the edges or something like that, it will, and then there is nothing else to affect that dice. You don't have to worry about it. But I imagine that there will be an element of people just always managing to draw a card that is perfect for the slot they want to put it in. But for the most part, I felt like it was down to our decisions, and it's been a really good thinky experience. That could be a problem for it as well, that depending on how AP prone the people that you play with are, that it might descend into just people just thinking for ages. Like it did get a little bit like that in our first game, but yeah, it was really satisfying to try and work out what we were taking as well. And factored into all of that decision is the area majority bit, which isn't really my favourite thing in games. I don't tend to like it a lot, but in things like this, it was really interesting because you sometimes think, well, the decision's made for me. There's 4 cards out here. This one will get me the most points, but this one would also work as well. And then I could put an assistant down here and try and get the investor that I want, because you can really try and go for colours, and the most you're only going to get 3 investors at the most if you're lucky throughout the whole game. But if you can kind of tailor it to then, well, this card isn't worth is worth 1 fewer point now, but it's an industry type, and I've got all 3 investors, so at the end of the game, that's going to pay off into more points. There, I imagine that you can think about this game even more deeply and try and, as I said, work out. In a 2-player game, the display doesn't change as much, unless somebody wipes it, of course. The display doesn't change as much in between your turns, so you can probably plan more ahead, whereas in a 4-player game, it wouldn't be worth doing that, because the cards are most likely not going to be there by the time it comes back around to you. Maybe you'll get lucky, but in general, it wouldn't be worth doing that. But you could, definitely plan ahead to, well, this is going to do this to the dice, then I can get this one next, hopefully, and then that will put me in this position to get this investor. It's just a really good system. But you can watch the playthrough and make your own mind up for it. I thought it was fantastic. It's quick. It's really simple to learn. The iconography, the powers are generally similar based on the type that is on show. The information ones always want a particular number. The military ones are taking things with, like, the sum of the dice need to be a particular thing, or transport ones, one needs to be bigger than the other, or they both need to be equal. You get to grips with it really quickly, and it is a really fast playing game, and I've really enjoyed it. That's Sentient. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.